Have you ever been to Missouri before, Terry?
I haven't.
Everybody here is very friendly, kind of like where you're from. Not as cold.
I was going to say, the nice thing is there's no snow here yet.
Well, I'm glad you're here. Terry Hook is a good friend of mine now and a great cop back home in Wisconsin.
I think the first shot goes like right here, and he slumps over like that, and now he hits him again.
And I'm glad she could come and join me here in the Ozarks to look into the 1988 murder of Ronna Bremer. Ronna grew up in Iowa, and she met her husband in Iowa, and they moved to Missouri because his family's from here. She'd only been here 6 months.
Right.
She's in a new state with all new family members because they're all kin to him, but she's here all alone. It just felt kind of sad.
And the fact that she had young children and was pregnant. It was very sad.
It was 3 days before Christmas when Ronna, who was 7 months pregnant at the time, went missing. According to her husband, she disappeared without a trace in the middle of the night. 2 years later, Ronna's skull was discovered by hikers. This is our, I think, 4th case in Missouri, and in every single case, we had to deal with the caves that they have here.
Supposedly there's some kind of cavern that she was thrown into, but it's very close to one of our suspects' property, which is interesting. This case is really complex as there's 3 suspects involved. Ronna's husband, Joel, and his 2 brother-in-laws. And the stories that they tell from that night are strange. Are they lying? Are they trying to cover for themselves? Or are they covering for each other?
We have to figure out 1 or 2 actually committed the murder, and a second one or a third one helped hide the body. Every single suspect's family is related to everybody else, and all the witnesses are children or wives of everybody.
That is going to be difficult.
It's a nice way to put it, Terry.
Somebody needs to get justice for her.
Hi, Sharon.
Hello.
Lieutenant
Good to meet
Siegler.
you.
Nice to meet
Good
you.
to meet you, Kevin Turner.
Nice to meet you. Saw your name in
Terry.
the file.
Nice to
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
We're excited to be here,
Hey,
Sheriff.
we're glad that you're here. Been looked at for a long time, and there's a lot of good investigation that's been done over the years. Just needs a little push.
Y'all all ready? Y'all studied up on it, ready to
We're
go?
ready.
Because you know everything. You worked it.
I have worked it. Whatever you need, all you have to do is ask. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. I did have the opportunity to speak to Ronna's mother on several occasions, and at times I kind of got her hopes up with our investigation, which I look back and I don't know if I could have handled it any differently, but maybe a regret that I got her hopes up and then we weren't able to bring closure to that case before she passed away.
Okay. Let's start off putting Ronna's pictures up here on the board. This is probably going to be Ronna and Joel. Can you remember how long she'd been married?
3 years.
They were both 22?
Yes.
Right?
Young. This is going to be Samantha, you think?
She was 3 at the time of her disappearance.
Yeah, her daughter was 3 and Stephen was 1.
Ronna Bremer moved to Ozark, Missouri from Iowa in 1988 with her husband and 2 children. She was a stay-at-home mother, took good care of her kids. I don't know that she knew a lot of people in this community.
Her parents were back in Iowa?
Right,
Yes.
right.
I couldn't figure out the Iowa to Missouri connection. Just because all of Joel's family was down here? Is that what made him move?
Most likely. His connection with his sisters, they're pretty tight.
Ron and Joel, who also went by Joe, moved a couple of miles away from his sisters, Barbara and Cheryl, and their husbands, David and John. They were hundreds of miles away from Ronna's parents, who didn't approve of Joel because of the way he treated Ronna.
Joel and Ronna Bremer, they're having some marital issues.
And he's already got tendencies to be violent with her.
I have a history of violence. I mean, it's huge. Ronna's co-workers stated that Ronna would come to work and appeared to have been beaten up. And then the most notable documentation would be there was information to suggest that she had some type of an affair. And Joel, who had been drinking, had grabbed Ronna by the throat and choked her and then struck her in the face.
When he caught her with the other guy, they were still there. And
In
it wasn't-
Iowa.
Yes, and it wasn't long after that when they came down here.
Okay. According to what some people said, Joel had questions about whether or not he was truly the father of Ronna's unborn child. If so, that questioning probably placed even more stress on their already tumultuous marriage. Okay, we'll start with the beginning of the story. Tell us about that night.
Joel was staying with David and Barbara because of the problems he and Rona were having. And Rona showed up at the house that evening, and they argued in the yard, and she convinced Joel to go back with her to their house, so they left there.
2 days later, on the 22nd, Joel and his sister, Barbara, they reported missing. Their sole vehicle, still there. Her contact lenses, her medication, purse, money, they're still there.
I think the best way to start is if you can just tell us everything that you remember.
Investigators interviewed Joel and his entire family about the night that Ronna went missing to try and nail down a timeline. Joel said that he and Ronna continued arguing at home. When she left to go pick up their kids from the babysitter, he walked off on foot.
And it's still going through my head, I don't want to do this no more. I don't want to be married to this woman anymore. So I still had my duffel bag thing packed, so I just started walking again, took off.
Joel's sister Barbara said that Ronna called her when she realized Joel had walked off.
She was crying. She went upstairs down there to the room. She had her.
According to Joel's brothers-in-law, David and John, Joel's sister Barbara sent them to drive around town to try and find Joel. They claimed they never found him and returned home. Later, Joel said he got cold, so he returned home and fell asleep with the kids in the living room.
So at what point then do you realize she's not there? When I got up the next morning.
It all sounded kind of odd, so detectives considered Joel a suspect. So now on our suspect board, we're going to have three. I think we should start with Joel. But because they never could find her body, the case went cold.
As the days went on, the investigation dies off. In 2001 is when my partner here started to initiate the investigation once more.
At that point is when the witness came forward and told the story about what one of the suspects had relayed to them. I believe they were being honest. They were truly concerned for the fact that they had known about this for a while and hadn't come forward.
So what story did they tell you?
They had met David Gray.
David Gray.
And David Gray told them that he had killed a woman and that he had her in his vehicle, choked her out.
He just turned around and started choking her and killed her, and he said, what am I going to do now? And started driving around like her what to do, and she can't hardly think back to life, and he choked her all up, and he was laughing, telling me he had choked the bitch twice, wouldn't die.
And then he took her to a place nearby his residence and disposed of her. He also told them about John Simpson helping him dispose of the body.
Now we got John Simpson.
John Simpson is married to Cheryl Simpson, who is a sister to Barbara Gray.
And Joel.
Yes.
Guys, maybe next time y'all can get us a case where everybody's not related. That would be nice.
The witness claims David Gray said that he and John Simpson disposed of Ronna's body in a crevice near his property. The witness then admitted that back in 1991, his girlfriend found a human skull in that area, but was scared to get involved and mailed it anonymously to law enforcement in a neighboring county. Christian County detectives obtained the skull, which had been unidentified for over 10 years. Through dental records, they confirmed that it was Ronna's. They searched the disposal site, but they never found any more of Ronna or her unborn baby's remains.
So is this really going to be a case where the husband is really just asleep when his wife gets killed by his brother-in-law and it's not the husband who did it? I mean, it might be.
Interesting question. Joel would have more to gain from Ronna being gone than David did.
And his story is stupid with him being asleep. He didn't hurry up to report her.
Yeah.
Why is David Gray going around telling people that he strangled this woman, though?
Why would someone tell that story, even if you're drunk?
I know.
Because that's what makes me think he did it.
So that makes us believe they're both involved.
I don't know. I've never had a case like this before. We've got a lot of work to do. Kevin, have you ever met Deanna before?
I never have.
But she'll be excited to meet you. It's been 36 years since Ronna Bremer and her unborn child were murdered. Sadly, both of her parents passed away, never being able to get any answers or justice.
Hello, how are you?
I'm Kevin.
Today we're going to meet with her big sister, Deanna.
It's nice to finally get to meet you.
You too.
My mom's talked highly of you.
Yeah, we had some good conversations.
Good.
I was disappointed that I didn't have something for her before
Sure.
she passed away.
Mm-hmm.
Were you and Rhoda close?
That's the one thing that's the saddest, is that we never got to that point where we had an adult sisterhood relationship, you know. She always wanted to be a mom. She got married right out of high school. And my sister is a lovely person. She was just sweet and sassy, and we had a great childhood. We'd ride our bikes everywhere, and we went to the ice cream shop a lot. We eventually moved from bicycles to mopeds so we could go out farther on the country roads. She was just very carefree and fun. It's unfortunate that someone so evil snuffed that out of her.
How did you see all this affect her mom and dad? It had to have.
It's hard. You should never hear those kind of guttural sounds come out of anyone you love. So that's what I remember. Losing your child. I mean, no parent should ever go through that. My dad died, shortly thereafter. I think it just broke him. It broke him. I think my parents never wanted to burden me with a lot of that because they didn't want to take away my future, so they tried to let me go off to college and, not worry me as much with it. But was there ever the joy and the happiness that I used to see in my parents? No. I would say they probably died the day she did.
Did Rhoda confide in you about her relationship?
She did not. I heard the concerns of my parents that he was being physical. We tried so hard to get her away from him, and I just said he will kill you if you stay with him.
Was that before they moved down to Missouri?
That was before they moved down to Missouri.
Is there a reason why they moved down there?
Barbara and her husband and 3 kids lived down in that area, and she was always kind of like a mom figure to him. Every time anything came up, he always ran to Barbara. Barbara called my parents a couple days after she went missing.
Do you know what she told them?
Just that she ran away, which seemed very odd to us. She didn't take anything with her, and she would have never left her children.
Who ended up raising them?
Their father raised them. Joe did do a couple of years in prison.
As if this case isn't bad enough, years later, Joel went to prison for molesting their daughter. It's not only heartbreaking, it makes you also wonder about his capacity for violence and deception.
When that happened, then they finally granted my mom full custody of the children. Wow. When they were high schoolers. I just would really like the truth to come for her children more than anyone, just so they can have a little bit of peace. Just knowing what actually happened, and they just really never even knew her, which is the saddest thing. Justice will come.
We're going to try our hardest.
We are.
Thank you.
It's nice to see it alive. Square still going.
When I was a teenager, everybody cruised the square.
Yeah.
2 lanes of traffic, and it was packed.
Wish nobody was drinking beer, right?
No.
We want to examine Joel's story and his family's story about the night we believe Ronna was killed. So we're going to hop in a couple of vehicles to retrace his steps and a couple of key locations.
We're going to Ronna and Joel's residence back in 1988.
This is the neighborhood where they lived right in here.
Okay.
And we're thinking it's one of these duplexes right here.
That one or the one next to it.
Joel's story starts at him and Ronna's duplex at 9:15. Joel said that he and Ronna were still arguing, and that when she left to go pick up the kids from the babysitter's house, he left on foot to go find someplace else to sleep.
It's a convenience store gas station right here was the Casey's then,
That they walked to all the time to use the phone, supposedly?
supposedly.
Joel claimed that he first walked to a gas station named Casey's that's approximately 2 miles away. Joel and Ronna used the payphone at Casey's often because they didn't have a phone of their own.
Joel said that he went here because he was going to get a lighter. So that gas station is where Ronna would have been if Ronna was making the phone call to Barbara that Barbara says.
About 10:30 Ron came from Casey's, and she was crying. So when I drove down there, she said, "Well, she back there."
Ronna's phone call is what allegedly prompted David and John to go and look for Joel. What's strange is that Barbara claimed that she and Ronna spoke for hours. That's a long time for Ronna to be talking on a payphone in 40-degree weather with 2 kids to care for. Was she trying to convince detectives that Rana was still alive while David and John were out driving around looking for Joel? Unfortunately, Barbara's since passed away, so we won't be getting any more information about this phone call.
This is a heck of a walk.
Yeah.
After Casey's, Joel said he walked approximately a half a mile to his place of work, which is a sportswear manufacturer. And this is where his story gets the strangest.
So right up here is where Barbara and Joel worked, where he allegedly laid
Slept
down and
behind.
slept.
Okay.
And he said he was going to come here and sleep here until the morning so that he could get his paycheck. First of all, who's going to sleep outside in 40-degree weather?
Joel's story concludes with him determining that it's too cold to sleep outside and him walking back to his house. He claims he fell asleep with his kids in the living room, unaware if Rana was home or not, until the next morning when he realizes that she's actually missing.
Be a lot different out here pitch dark at night, huh?
Oh, yeah.
The problem with a case like this is that it's impossible to know what's really true when everybody involved has some reason to want to lie. Hopefully, checking out the area where Rana's skull was found can really help.
So what you're seeing here is David Gray's property down below us. And it goes right up the ridge and goes up to where the skull was found.
Did he have that house back in 1988?
Yeah, right there.
And her body's found where?
Along this ridge up here.
Within eyesight.
Yes.
You come on. What are the odds that Rana goes missing and there's his house and there's where she ends up? Give me a break. Standing here looking at David Gray's house, I'm thinking this is probably the best piece of evidence we have in the whole case. Because who else is going to drag Rana's body up this hill? And I can't imagine one person did it alone. Today you get to meet Samantha, Joel and Rana's daughter, who was, 3 at the time?
3 years old.
3 years old. Most of our witnesses in the 36-year-old murder of Rana Bremer and her unborn child also happen to be suspects. But there's another witness we really want to talk to, Rana and Joel's daughter, Samantha.
We want to resolve this case.
Would be amazing. Like to have answers after 35 years.
Samantha not only lost her mom, she's also the victim that Joel later went to prison for when he molested her. So we need to approach her and talk to her as delicately as we can without cameras.
I had my one core memory from that night. I remember her being mad, and it was late. I assumed she was mad that her dad wasn't home.
Okay.
And we saw the lights go across the wall.
Like vehicle lights?
Yeah, exactly. Somebody
Okay.
parking in the driveway.
Right. And your mother said?
There he is.
Okay. Referring to your dad. Okay. And did he come in or no?
Samantha can still remember a car pulling up because she saw the headlights and her mom going, "There he is." But we know Joel was on foot that night. So who gave him a ride? Could it have been one of our other suspects?
Did you ever ask him where she was at?
Of course. We always wanted to know where our mom was. Like, he would tell us that she didn't love us and that's why she ran away. Every time we'd ask what really happened to her mom, there was some crazy, mean reason why she wasn't around.
I can understand a father having a hard time explaining to his child why their mother was gone, but what nobody understands is why you would tell them stories that are so hurtful. Mother says, "There he is." So that goes along with your thinking that
She came out. She was mad. There was a confrontation and it
everything blew up. And you still gotta ask yourself, how much can you rely on a 3-year-old's memory?
think something traumatic like that could have a lasting impression that she would remember.
Yeah, they say it imprints on your brain, right?
Yes. Well, in a long time. Are we all good?
Yes.
It's been 23 years since a witness has come forward with information about Rana's murder and the location of her skull. Fortunately, he has agreed to come in today with his lawyer. You are the foundation of the case, and you're going to be a beautiful witness. And you're okay with that, right?
I have to be.
Yes,
That's
sir.
the deal.
The question is, can he confirm his story today? Is it consistent with what he said back then, and is he credible?
I was working for, and he asked me to go down there and on that property of his, clean it up. lived down there. That's where I first met Dave Gray. Well, he introduced himself as my neighbor. You know, back then he drank and party and he drank a lot. At some point in time, he had made some comment about, don't, you know, say things you find bones around you or something to that effect. After that, he was telling me up there, we were drinking one night about how Ronna and her car had broke down. And he went to go get her, and she started saying a lot of stuff about she was going to ruin the grays, and I never understood what she could use to ruin the grays. But anyway, he told me that when she started that, he just started choking her. I guess he thought he had her killed, and she apparently wasn't dead. So he said he just choked the living hell out of her that time.
What's his attitude like when he's telling you this?
The most heinous thing I believe I've ever seen in my life. He just tried to kill the son of a bitch twice. I just laughed. I thought, damn. He told me when they got John Simpson, his brother-in-law, and they lugged her up the hill and dropped her in the narrow slit in the rocks there. And he went up there the next day and threw some more brush and stuff in on her because you could kind of see. For sure.
Today's story matches what he first told detectives. It's unclear where Ronna had car trouble, though possibly at the gas station. We also don't know what information she may have had to talk about trying to threaten the Gray's family, but whatever it was, that could have been David's motive.
John, at no time after that, ever told you anything about that incident?
John never said anything about it ever. He said, I can never remember it. I suspect Dave drove up there and didn't tell him what he was there for. John didn't know what was going on, probably he got that truck.
David never mentioned Joel. Is that because he was protecting him? Maybe, but he sure wasn't protecting John.
Some point in time, my girlfriend went mushroom hunting or something the other day while I was there and said something about they had found a skull down there. I just thought, crap. This guy wouldn't help him out. I didn't want anything to do with it. I just told her, package it up and send it to Greene County, I think it was. At that point, I had a feeling that it wouldn't bother him to kill somebody else.
You read the file and you read how important he is to the case, but you wonder, what's he like today? And he was great. Oh, he was so good. He remembered everything important. I don't think he got any big thing wrong or inconsistent, and I think a jury's gonna love him.
I hope you guys do your job and I'm alive afterwards.
Oh, John, you want to jump in the front with me for a minute?
This case is very much complicated by the fact that you have a version of the story that came out of the mouth of David Gray, according to one very important witness, that David's brother-in-law, John Simpson, may have also been involved.
Let's go through what you remember of that incident when Ronna disappeared.
John Simpson has been interviewed. He passed a polygraph, but you have this version of the story that puts John Simpson and David Gray in the middle of the story. So what do you do with John Simpson? We don't know until we talk to him.
I went over down to Barb and Davis. Barb come out and said that she got a phone call and Ron had called and Joe took off. They got in a fight. So Barb wanted Dave to go in town, so I went in town with him looking for Joe.
So when you were with David looking for Joel, did you actually go to their duplex?
Yeah, to see if he shows back up. I could see her and him at the same time, and they just talked for a little bit.
So Ronna came out and talked to David?
Yeah.
In the doorway?
Yeah.
Okay. And what did he say when he got back in the truck?
I said he hadn't come back home. She didn't know where he was at. So Dave dropped me off, and he told Barb he was going to go. There's like 2 different ways to go down to their house. He was going to go check the other way, make sure he wasn't walking that way.
Did you actually see him leave?
Well, his headlights were coming out behind me.
Okay.
John seems forthcoming and admits that he and David stopped by Ronna's looking for Joel, likely making them the last people to see her alive. But did that play out as innocently as John claims? Or is it possible that David went back after dropping John off?
Everybody says that you and David hunted around down there a lot. On the property, if you go up that hillside, there's a crevice. You familiar with that?
So in that area, that's where Rana's skull, including part of her teeth, were found. Was Joe big enough to move Rana's unconscious dead body all by himself and put it up in this area we've been talking about?
It'd be hard. Here's the deal. We have witnesses that told us that David did this and that he went and picked you up in Islandville and helped get rid of her body.
All I can say is I didn't do it.
Coming up on Rana already dead and helping move her body doesn't make you guilty of murder.
No.
Did you have anything to do with
No.
that? Do you think that David did?
At the time, I didn't think it was possible, but anymore, I'm not too sure, to be honest.
Because
There's too many things don't add up.
things don't add up. John's story seems pretty consistent, and he didn't even get rattled when we confronted him a little harder. Right now, I don't know what to think. If he's a liar, he's good.
Today is the day that I don't think you hold anything back with Joel. Say some prayers.
Yeah, we don't need it. We got this.
We've talked to one suspect and we've got 2 more to go. Next, we want to talk to Rana's husband, Joel Bremer. We know their marriage was strained and he was abusive and that they argued that night. At this point, that's about all we're sure of.
Hey, how you doing, sir? Joel?
Will Joel tell us anything today that suggests that he actually is involved in the death of Rana and her unborn baby?
Tell me a little bit about what you remember from back then.
We had an argument. I went and stayed with my sister for a few days. Rana came down and begged me to go back to we lived in a duplex at the time. She was trying to make a scene, so I said, fine, I'll go home with you. And she had left our kids at my niece's house. And she went to get the kids. After I took my shower, the more I said, I can't do this. Me and her just ain't gonna get along. So I packed up a duffel bag and I headed out. When I was walking, I went by I think it was Casey's. I bought me a little half pint of schnapps. When I came out of Casey's down there, I seen my 2 brother-in-laws, John and David, drive by. They were heading towards where I used to live.
Joel initially told investigators that he bought a lighter at Casey's. Now he's telling us that he bought peppermint schnapps. He initially said that he only saw David drive by, but now today he's telling us that he saw David and John. These aren't huge inconsistencies, but you have to wonder if he's hiding something.
I went down to where I used to work, so the next day was payday, and I was gonna get my check and go someplace. I didn't really give a crap where the hell I went. It was colder than crap. So I ended up walking back to the house. And when I got there, I never seen her. I slept on the couch. And the next morning when I got up, she was gone.
Joel's story still does not make much sense. Instead of walking home, where he said he didn't want to be, he could have just used the payphone at Casey's and had Barbara come pick him up and stay at her place, because that's where he had been the night before.
David wasn't like a brother-in-law. He was kind of more of like a big brother to you.
Yeah.
At one point, he
I
was
got
like
a
a
lot
big
better
brother.
him than I do my real brother.
Are you aware that David confessed to killing Rana?
Oh, he did?
Yes, he did.
I didn't know that. I never talked to David that much after that.
Why would you never talk to him much after that?
He was working, and
But before that, you did talk to him.
occasionally,
Well, you were at his house all the time. You just said he wasn't like your brother-in-law. You said you were closer to him than your brother. Why would David want to kill Rona?
I have no idea.
I mean, you had lots of reasons to want to kill her. You wanted to get away from her, and your history of abuse to Rona, the domestic violence arrest that you had,
Yeah,
you and David did something to Rana.
this is crazy. Told you all the truth. I've not lied to you at all. Ask him. I don't know what you expect me to say.
Thank you for talking.
You guys have a blessed day.
How'd it go?
He went through kind of a similar account to some of the past interviews.
What did Joel say out of Joel's mouth that puts him guilty?
I don't know that there was anything that, because he just kept saying the same things over and over again.
This is going to be his, 5th interview? And how many years? Joel Bremer is very consistent, which is very unusual when someone is guilty. And you don't have any witness that points the finger directly at that night, Joel Bremer being the one who killed Rana. But the other important thing with Joel is, remember, he also says he was done with Rana, which I'm like, those coincidences don't happen. And that's the night you're going to walk away, and she also ends up dead by somebody else. That's crazy. So I think he is in the middle of it, but the problem is, if you believe, or you don't pick and choose the parts you believe, he says that David Gray told him John Simpson helped.
I believe, but I don't believe David Gray.
Okay, gotcha. All right, good point. So you're thinking tomorrow you're going to get David Gray talking.
He's going to tell us what happened.
I like that.
Hello?
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Is David here?
Yeah, he just went down for a nap.
Oh, he did?
Talk to him?
Yeah, if he's got a few minutes. What's your name?
Trinity, I'm his daughter.
Oh, Trinity, hi.
We've got one last suspect to talk to in the 1988 murder of Rana Bremer and her unborn baby, her brother-in-law, David Gray. According to a witness, David confessed to killing Rana and disposing of her body near his property, the same property where her skull was discovered.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
How are you?
Well, I was trying to think of that.
Oh, I'd like to visit with you for a few minutes.
We don't have a strong motive for why David would have killed her, but we're looking for any inconsistencies that might implicate him, John, or Joel. Rana and Joel's marriage had a lot of problems.
Yeah.
What all did you see? What kind of problems did you see in their marriage?
They were both too young or too stupidly married to have kids.
So that was just normal for them to be in arguments and fights, okay?
Yell and scream at each other.
So that's pretty disruptive for you guys, wasn't it?
Yeah, I sure didn't like it.
Yeah. And that particular day, she came down here and they were out in your front yard having words, and then she convinced him to go back to Ozark with her.
Yeah.
Does that make Barbara get worried about him? Is that why you were looking for him?
The whole thing had her all worked up. She was worried about Joe.
Was she?
He was the baby of the family.
Sounds like she took care of him.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
She wanted me to go out and find him and help him.
Did you ever find him?
No.
Do you know who all was here when that happened? Just you and Barbara?
No, John Simpson was here, my brother-in-law.
Did you go to their house?
No.
You didn't? Where did you go looking for him at?
Just up and down the road here.
Okay.
I heard he was walking somewhere.
So now, according to Joe, he saw you drive by Casey's there in Ozark.
I don't think I went to town.
Okay. What do you remember after that? After you said you didn't find him?
We went to bed, I guess.
Today, David is saying that he never went by Ron and Joel's that night, which contradicts what John told us. And he's also claiming today that he never went into town. Is he trying to distance himself?
When they reported her missing, nobody ever saw her again. And then in 1991, there was a skull found right up here behind your house. And that skull was determined to be Rana's. Do you remember that?
I remember they sent it in the mail.
We found the people that mailed it, and they told us where they found it. It was right up here, up the hill from your house.
That's the first time I heard that.
Those people told us that you told them you got Rona in your truck. It was upset because she's causing the grief for the Gray family, and you killed her.
I don't think so.
You didn't ever tell anybody that?
No.
There were people that said that you told them that, and that you were pretty detailed about what took place. Based on our investigation, David, you killed Rona and threw her in that hole.
Well, I didn't.
Why would a witness make that up? And they just happened to get it right that the very space you told them you put her is where they found her skull. We think Joel's involved too, and we're here today to ask you if he's the one that did it, because right now, the only person we're looking at is you.
I think you ought to ask Joe that.
We did, and he said to come ask you. Your own mouth sinks you. Your own words got you. You're in a bind, and you're going to end up getting arrested for this. What we don't understand is why you're going to let Joel get away with it.
The reason she's asking that is that you told somebody that John Simpson helped you carry that body up that hill. I don't know that I believe
A lot
that.
of hearsay, people saying this and that.
It's not hearsay if it comes out of your
It
mouth.
comes from you, David. Now's your opportunity to tell us about it. You might not have that opportunity again.
I told you everything I know.
It's clear that David's got nothing else to say to us, and honestly, we don't have anything else to say to him. I would have given up 30 minutes before you did. That's a cold, stone cold, excuse my language, mother. So now y'all got to eyeball Joel and David Gray and Simpson to get a clear picture of how they look in person and what their stories sound like in person. We've reviewed all the statements, talked to the suspects, gone over all the evidence, and now it's time for us to run it all down with the prosecuting attorney's office. I think that we've learned or confirmed everything that we can. I don't know what to think about John Simpson. He passed a polygraph. He's always been cooperative. He couldn't have been any more helpful today answering our questions. We hit him hard with, but why would David Gray say you're the one that helped move her body up there? He doesn't have an answer.
All I can say is I didn't do it.
I don't know if I'd clear him though, because if you have, and his story is his story, we don't get to pick and choose.
Told me about John Simpson. Apparently they lugged her up the hill and dropped her in the narrow slit in the rocks there.
It sounds like we're all agreeing that as much as we don't want to think he's involved, we're leaving him on the board. Okay. Is it possible that John was involved or that he knows a little more? The only way we're ever going to know that is if it comes out of the mouth of someone who was involved. So now we got these two. Joel Bremer, the husband with all the motive in the world, and David Gray.
Most of the evidence that we've collected points to David Gray, which begins with the statements. The strangling story is so specific.
I had to kill a son of a bitch twice. I just laughed. I thought, damn.
I had to choke the bitch twice, laughing about it. That's how much remembers that moment in his brain. You don't make that up.
And then he says, if you find bones, don't mess with them. You have the bones that are found right next to his house.
You can look out his front door and see where she ends up being found.
But he couldn't have done it by himself.
Dead weights, very hard to handle, very hard to carry.
Right.
And Joel didn't take her up that hill by himself.
When you talk to your prosecutor, what are you going to focus on?
The problems that she and Joel were having. And then Joel bringing those problems to David and Barbara's house. I think David was fed up with it.
Rhonda and Joel's marriage had a lot of problems.
Yeah. Yelling, screaming at each other. I sure didn't like it.
I think what happened is Joel goes to the gas station and he calls Barbara. And Barbara sends David and John. I think that David goes to the house to try to find Joel. He doesn't find Joel, so David drops John home. And as he's coming back, David sees Joel and he picks him up. And I think then that's how they end up back at the house.
It's possible, yeah.
I think what happened is she comes running out of the house and maybe she comes at him and she's all ticked off and he is just fed up and he snaps.
If I was your prosecutor and I was making an opening statement or final argument to a jury, I would acknowledge right away, look, we're not going to be able to give you a point-by-point PowerPoint that lets you see, like they do on TV, exactly how this went down, because that's not the way it works in the real world. People lie and people cover, and they don't want to talk on their family. So what are we going to do about that? Let them get away with it? So it is time to hold them responsible.
And it's not just Rana. There was a baby.
Yeah, you're right.
There was a baby. We keep talking about her like she's dragging around a bag or something, and there was a baby there. And that child died in the midst of all of this. And we can't let that go either. I think you don't have a lot of time. Charge him out, get him in front of a jury, and let the jury make the decision.
There's nothing else y'all can do.
No.
We believe we built a strong case against David and Joel, and now it's in the prosecuting attorney's hands. Okay, so y'all are meeting with your prosecutor tomorrow morning?
Yeah.
We'll be waiting to hear what she tells you. This This is exciting.
Very
these,
exciting.
These guys are very low-key, nonchalant about it, but it's a big thing. The meeting with prosecuting attorney Kristen Toy went really well, and now it's time to share what happened in that meeting with Rana's sister Deanna and her daughter Samantha, who's very excited to come.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We're glad that you can make it. We actually just met with the prosecutor a little while ago, and the prosecutor has told us that she's willing to move forward with this and get some charges filed.
Wow, this is bigger news than I thought.
It's amazing. Could either be a big day or a really disappointing one. You guys just made it a really big day. Thank you.
So it appears to us that there will be 2 people that will be charged in this case, both Joel and David.
Thank you so much. It's a good closure.
I can't believe it.
Well, we've waited a very, very long time for this news, so it feels good. It feels freeing. My mom died 2 years ago. I just know that she's been at work on this. I just know it, so it's happening today because of that. I'm convinced.
It's a good day, and we're so happy to give you all good news.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Kevin, tell him what you said walking over here.
Go ahead. I'll tell him in a minute.
It's close to my mom.
And he wishes she was here today.
Yeah, she is. And thank you, too. I mean, she thought the world of you, so.
When are you gonna arrest them? When can we get them behind bars?
We would like to see them behind bars probably as much as you. We're going to move it as quickly as we can. And we're committed to putting in the time to see this through to the end. So,
Good.
Thank you so much.
Rana was taken away from this world at a very young age with an unborn child. She's had 2 children that had to live their whole lives being told lies about why their mother left them. Both of her parents went to their graves not ever getting answers or any kind of justice. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And the hope is that today, finally, for Rana's son and daughter and sister, they can finally get justice.
I was the rhythm now. The pain had become the performance. Do you still talk to Lucia Vargas? The host asked. I froze. The lights burned like confession. I smiled the way stars are trained to, perfectly. No, I said, but she was important. He leaned forward. She called you her shadow in a recent article. What do you think she meant? I laughed again. Maybe that light needs shadow to exist. Everyone clapped. The sound made me dizzy. That night, I stared at my reflection long after removing my makeup. My face was pale, empty, unrecognizable. I touched the mirror and whispered, "Who am I dancing for now?" No answer came, only silence, deep and accusing. Spain teaches passion as virtue, duende, the spirit of art born from suffering. But somewhere between the suffering and the showmanship, the soul gets commodified. We learn to sell our agony like perfume, to make beauty from pain, and then to crave more pain just to stay beautiful. Lucia found redemption in stillness. I found addiction in motion. Lucy, next time I saw her, it was by accident. Granada, a charity performance. She was teaching a group of children, disabled, fragile, smiling, to move with rhythm. No spotlight, no orchestra, no applause. Just the sound of bare feet tapping on tiled floor. I watched from the corner, unseen. She moved slowly, her limp still visible, her eyes radiant. When one of the children stumbled, she whispered, "Even broken steps are music." Those words pierced deeper than any critic ever could. I left before she could notice me. Why do I envy someone who has less than me? Why does her quiet fill the space my fame never could? That night, I performed in front of 1,000 people. The theater was sold out. But for the first time, the applause hurt. Every cheer sounded like accusation. Every flashbulb burned like judgment. I danced harder, faster, until sweat blurred my vision. My ankle twisted mid-turn. Pain shot through me like lightning, but I kept going. The crowd roared louder. They thought it was passion. It was punishment. After the show, the doctor said it was a minor sprain, but the pain lingered. Not in my body, in my conscience. I started hearing things backstage, faint whispers like shoes scraping glass. Sometimes I imagined the bloodstain on the stage floor reappearing under the lights. I even dreamed of it. Red footprints trailing behind me wherever I danced. The human decay had begun. Quietly, invisibly. Fame had turned from crown to collar. A year later, the invitations slowed. New faces, younger bodies, brighter energy. The industry's hunger shifted. My manager said, "It's just a cycle, you'll bounce back." But I didn't want to bounce. I wanted to stop. I returned to Seville for a short rest. The old theater where I'd first danced was abandoned now, dust settling where applause